Hello there, it's good to be back. As you can see from this wonderful photograph, the site itself of Palenque sits on a kind of a shelf. The place sits in Chiapas, down here in the Maya area, and there's Palenque right there. Archaeology came to Palenque in 1934 when Mexico formed its National Institute of Anthropology and History. They sent Miguel Angel Fernandez there to start digging the palace. When they finished the palace, they started looking over at the Temple of the Inscriptions. This is how it was in 1942 and 1948 when Alberto Ruz was hired to start. And he walked in the temple up there and he noticed something, and that is that the floor of the temple was made out of big stone slabs with holes in them. So Alberto had the workers pull up the stone, and underneath the stone there was 2 steps leading down. He didn't know whether it went down 4 more feet and stopped, or whether there were 3 steps. At the end of the summer of 48, he'd gone down 23 steps. Finally, in June of 1952, he walked into this empty room at the bottom, and there was nothing there. And Juan Chablé, who was one of the masons, the head mason, said, "Don Alberto, there's a funny-looking little triangular stone over there against the wall. If we could move that, I'll bet you there's something behind it." So they moved the triangular stone aside, and there was a room with a stone in it. He thought it was a altar, a table. He didn't know what it was. Nobody had ever found anything like that. And then he came back, and Juan Chablé, the mason, said, "Hey, Don Alberto, why don't you drill a hole in the side of this thing and see if it's hollow?" He did, and it was. We went into town and got 15 automobile jacks and pulled the thing up, and there was a body inside. And so what I'm going to do is let David take the story here for a while and talk about the man in the tomb.
Okay, we're going to shift gears a little bit and look at a lot of detail at what turned out to be, I guess, the American equivalent, if there is one, to King Tut's tomb. His full name was Inich Hanab Pakal, and he was the greatest king of Palenque, one of the greatest of all Maya kings. Now, Pakal was born in the year 603 AD. We know from the inscriptions. He came to power in 615. So he was 12 years old when he became king. This is an early photograph of Pakal himself in his tomb. He was covered in jade, as a good Maya king would be. Jade collar, jade bracelets, and an extraordinary mask as well. Here is Pakal. What you're seeing here, of course, is some of the jade and the mask. Unbelievable. Years and years after he's dead, Pakal is still at the center of everything. And this is why I think Palenque, most of what we see of Palenque in that central area is Pakal City. It's just an incredible place to be, and it'll always have that aura about it, I hope.